ugly green cast metal machine is what this is. Let's go over some of the details about this press. On top of the press, there's a screw that you can adjust up and down so that when you press the lever down and it presses the ram down, it'll stop you from overpressing your material and help you perfectly seat some of the hardware that you're using. This die right here has a thread pattern on it. It threads into the bottom side of the ram. That thread pattern is M8 by 1.25 millimeters. It's kind of finicky sometimes, but it works. The bottom die right here has a diameter of 19 millimeters, or about 3/4 of an inch. So what we got here is all the die sets that I purchased around the same time that I got the hand press. So this one right here is a 12.5 millimeter S-spring snap button. This is the same style, but 15 millimeter S-spring snap button. This is the line 24 snap button, and that's 15 millimeter. If you're wondering what size that is, that would be the cap right there is 15 millimeters. And then down here we have a double cap rivet setter 8 millimeter one right here, and this is a 9 millimeter one right here. Over here we have 3 sets of dies that actually came with the hand press when I purchased it. They're grommet dies, or you could call them eyelet dies, whatever that you want to call them. But there's 3 different sizes. The first one right here, I use this 7/16 punch to knock the holes out for this grommet, 3/8 punch for this one, and then a 1/4 inch for the last one that I have. All of the snap buttons back here and the rivets all are using this 2.5 millimeter punch. These 2 punches right here are actually just the same punch. It works for almost everything except for the posts on some of these snaps are a little bit thicker. So what I usually do is I just take something to stick in the hole and enlarge the hole a little bit. Okay, so each die that's on the table has a specific piece of hardware that goes to it. So for the rivet dies, there's only 2 dies. You have the top and the bottom one, and the grommets that are the same way. Okay, then back here, each die set is 4 pieces that corresponds to each piece of hardware that receives that cap, socket, post, and stud. Call this one the male, and that washer one the female part to the hardware. So when you hear me talking during the video, that's what I'll be calling these parts. I'm going to show each die set being used on the hand press, except for probably that one, because it's the exact same thing as that one. It's just a different size, and I was just showing you that I actually had that one. So I'll do the 12.5 millimeter, and then I'll do the line 24 snap. We will start with the grommets, and first thing you need to do is take your material and punch your holes in it. You can use an arbor press to punch out the holes in the materials. It works great, but I will just be using a mallet, and I do everything like this most of the time. I just punch it out with that. Here I'm setting up the grommet die into the press, and right here I'm putting the male section into the piece of material. I'll flip it upside down, seat it onto the bottom die, then I'll lay over the female part of hardware. I'll press the machine down together. It mates the 2 pieces of hardware together with the die, and this is a grommet. If you wonder what grommets are used for, whenever you knock holes into materials and that hole needs to have some kind of strength and structure to it, you usually will use something like a grommet to provide that strength to that hole so that it doesn't have any tear. You know, things like shower curtains and tarps utilize grommets whenever there's a hole needed. Okay, now we'll move on to the rivets. Here I'm installing the die for the rivet, the 8 millimeter rivet. This is the piece of leather that I'll be using. I'll put the post side of that rivet through the 2 holes. The other side, which is the little short piece of the cap, you can insert that in that die that's in the top, but I usually just press it into the bottom of the half of it, and then I press it together that way. I like doing it that way better. Makes the connection, works good. This little machine press works really well for that. Right here we're going to make a keychain. This is what the larger size rivet die that I have. This rivet right here is just long enough, the post side of that is, that it'll fit through that 3 pieces of leather, which is about 4.5 ounce each layer is, which is about 5.5 millimeters. That little die leaves a little ring around it sometimes from that little rubber thing. 12.5 millimeter S-spring snap button. Here we're installing the 12.5 millimeter S-spring snap button. Here we have the post and the stud. The stud goes into the top die right there. Remember I said before you had to enlarge in the hole for the post piece of hardware? There we go, we're installing the post, putting it on the bottom, pressing down, making the connection, and there you go, you have 1/2 of the snap button completed. This is where 2 machines would come in handy, so you don't have to keep changing these dies out. These dies right here are for the cap and the socket. The socket goes into the top die, and the bottom die will seat the cap perfectly inside of it. So you press down right there, connect them 2 pieces together, and you've completed your snap. Here are some card holders that I made that actually use that particular snap button. Line 24 snap button. Just like the S-spring snap button, the line 24 snap buttons do the same thing. You got a post and a stud. Stud goes in the top die, post goes on the bottom. You press down, connect them together. You got 1/2 of your line 24 snap complete. Alright, here you got 2 more dies that you got to put back in there again for the line 24 snap. This is responsible for your cap and your socket. Your socket piece of hardware goes into the top die. You put the cap through the hole, place it on the bottom die, press down, and it makes the connection of the 2 pieces. And now you've completed your line 24 snap. This is a good snap, strong snap. Here's a knife sheath that uses the line 24 snap as the closure on it. Here's everything that we went over side by side. So now let's talk about the price of everything. When I bought the hand press, I got it off Amazon, and it came with, like I said before, the 3 sets of dies for grommets and the big bags of hardware for each grommet set. And it did not come with the punches to make the holes for the grommets. And that was $49.99 when I got it off Amazon. And all of the snap button dies back here, I bought them off of eBay. $8.99, $8.99, $9.99. And these 2 double cap rivet die sets that I bought, 8mm, 9mm, right? Okay, so I got them off of Amazon. And $9.95, $9.95, and the total. So that's the cost of all of it. And I like it a lot. You know, it's cheap and everything, but yeah, still good. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the like button. Check back in for more videos. Thank you.